You guys liked this video a lot, and some of you even asked for part 2. So here it is. We'll show you how to add the glowing effect to your animations, like we do. And we'll also go through some more complicated examples and techniques to add to what we showed you last time. So, if you haven't already, make sure to watch part 1 before you watch this. Now, enough for the introduction. Let's get going. And let's start with the glowing effect. There are many ways to do it. In this video, we'll show you the ones we use for our animations. Based on the objects we want to animate, we can use different techniques. For simple shapes, we use text, like we showed you last time. In its properties, you can add the effect simply by checking the apposite box. You can change the range, the intensity, and the color as you like. Then once you're done, just create a compound clip to edit the animation. For complex shapes and objects, it's a little different. Since these are not simple text elements such as points and lines, we cannot add the glow effect like we did before. One method we could use is to add a filter or an effect to the timeline, like the luminance effect here. You see, our icons are already on the timeline, and we're simply adding an overlay to it. Not to the single clips, but for everything under it. It works, but is not perfect on the edges and corners. So we prefer using another method. If you remember from the last video, we said that we can find a lot of pre-made icons and images on Canva. Well, we can also add the glow effect directly from there. Once we have our image ready, we can click on Edit Image. Then select the shadow effect, then glow. Let's choose the right color for our glow effect. In this case, white. Adjust it as you like it. And there you go. The only problem with this method is that you can't cut the background afterward, when editing the video, for example, without also cutting off the glow effect. We can only do it by downloading the image and checking this box right here. This way, Canva eliminates the background layer without touching anything else. Sadly, this is a pro feature, so you can't actually do it with the free plan unless you use the pro trial. Anyway, that was it for the glow effect. Let's now see another trick you can use to step up your animation game. Look at these 2 clips, for example. Can you spot the difference? At first, it seems that in B, the ball moves slower than it does in A. Yet, if you look closely, they both stop up and down at the same height at the same time. So what's going on here? In clip A, the ball moves like Pong, we shall say. It has a simple up and down pattern. In clip B, the ball goes up and down again, yet it has a slightly different pattern. It starts slow, gets fast halfway, and slows back down at the end. What seems only like a tiny detail, in this case, is a basic example of a technique we can use to add smoothness to our animations, which can then be used in much more complex examples to make the objects move more naturally. For now, let's start by recreating these clips so we can have a better understanding of how it works. We have our background, as always, and a point. Very simple. The point has to move up and down regularly, so let's set the motion with the keyframes. Now we have the exact situation as in clip A, where the point moves simply up and down. To add some smoothness to this movement, we have to play a bit with the keyframes. We do that by right-clicking on the compound clip and then Show Keyframe Animation. Now CapCut is showing us all the dimensions in which the object can move. In our case, it just goes up and down, so it moves only in the Y layer. Let's expand this layer and we can see a graph that represents this exact movement through time. If we highlight the keyframes and we select for each one this type of curve, we get that smooth effect. So this way, we get clip B. Let's see. Perfect. This effect can be used also with masks. Let's make an example real quick. We're going to use a line that goes from the bottom to the top of the screen. Let's set the mask and the keyframes. Now let's add the effect. Here we go. As we said earlier, in these basic examples, the differences are minimal, but let's now see what happens with more complex animations. Precisely. Let's recreate the F1 car animation that we showed you earlier. We're going to need the background, the F1 car, and the flag icon. We found them in Canva using the same method we showed you earlier and in the other video. Let's add them to our timeline. The car races on a road, which we're going to make by using a simple line with text. Let's adjust the size of the car a little bit. Now let's create the movement pattern for the car. Let's make it start really fast, then move towards the center of the screen. This way it seems like the cameraman is trying to follow our car while it's racing. We also want to give the illusion of speed and movement, and we do that by using the smooth effect and not keeping the car still in the center of the scene. Instead, we make it move right and left a little bit. Perfect. Now the car is going to win the race by surpassing the flag. So let's place it on the timeline. It's just going to move fast from right to left. Then the car is going to go off-screen to the right. So it seems that the camera stops following it. This way we can end the animation, change scenes, or whatever. Here we go. You see, this is a good example that combines everything we've seen so far, but we could really build up to more things, as far as imagination goes. Anyway, that's it for today. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so we can make more content like this, and even better. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video right here.